Hey guys, today I want to teach you about how to find the area and perimeter of complex shapes. So a complex shape is going to be a shape that has more than one shape in it that you can decompose to find its area and perimeter. So this is going to be our complex shape that I just made on our geoboards, and we are going to review how to find the perimeter and area of this shape. To start, I'm going to decompose it. The first shape I decompose from it is going to be this rectangle. And I know that to find the area of this rectangle, I want to do base times my height. I know that my base is going to be represented by this line right here, which I can see is 2 units long. And my height's going to be this measurement right here, which I know is 1. So my area of the rectangle will be 2 times 1, which equals 2. So I already know my area of that rectangle, and now I want to go ahead and find the area of the triangle up above. So I know that to find the area of a triangle, I also am going to do base times height, but then I'm going to divide that final answer by 2. So my base is going to be this line right here, which I know represents 2. My height will be this height right here, which I know represents 1. So my base times height will be 2 times 1, then divided by 2. 2 times 1 equals 2, divided by 2 equals 1. So my upper triangle has an area of 1 cubic unit. And I saved the best for last, which is going to be my trapezoid down below. I know that to find the area of a trapezoid, I have to do the bottom base, or base 1, plus the top base, base 2, multiply those by my height, and then divide that final answer by 2. So my base 1 right here is going to have a value of 1, 2, 3 units. My height has to meet the base at a 90-degree angle, and luckily it's there, done very easily for me. I know my height is going to be 1. I also know that my upper base, my top right there, also has a length of 1. So I'm going to start by doing 3 plus 1, my bottom base plus my top base. Then I'm going to multiply that answer by 1. And finally, I'm going to divide by 2. So 3 plus 1 equals 3 times 1, I know equals 3. And I want to do 3 divided by 2, which I can write in multiple different ways. I'm going to use decimals, 1 and 5/10. 3 divided in half equals 1 and 5/10. So now I know that my triangle has an area of 1, my rectangle has an area of 2, and my trapezoid has an area of 1 and 1/2. So to find the area of the total combined complex shape, I want to add them up. 2 plus 1 plus 1 and 5/10. Now notice how I'm still lining up my decimals. I know this might seem like a very, very easy example, but it's very useful to just learn how to find the area of complex shapes. So 2 plus 1 is 4. So my final area should be 4 and 5/10 units squared. Remember, if you don't put those units squared, then you will not get the answer correct. Now to find the perimeter of a complex shape, I did want to change my shape. My main reason was because since I was using a geoboard, the slant in the trapezoid, its length was not given to you, and I could use algebra to solve for that length, but I don't want to get into that. That's a 7th grade skill. So instead, I want to go over exactly how we can find the the perimeter of this shape. So the perimeter is the space around. So I know that this equals 1 unit. So I can literally just count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So my perimeter should be 10 units long. The reason that I know that these lines are still going to be the same length as, let's say, a vertical line right here is because we're working with the geoboard, so we are working with squares. Therefore, it's going to be equilateral triangles when it's cut in half, which means its diagonal will also be 1 unit. So to find the perimeter of a complex shape, all you have to do is count up those exterior lines. You do not ever want to include interior lines like this or this. Those do not show the perimeter of the complex shape. Now this example is going to be a little bit more tricky for you, and this is where you're going to have to use your algebra skills to solve. So if I was going to solve this example, I would separate the triangle from the rectangle. I know that for this rectangle part, I can do base times height. So my area here is 40 centimeters squared. However, for my triangle, I need to know this base measurement because that's what meets my height at a 90-degree angle. I know my height is 5 centimeters. Take a minute and see if you can figure out this length. You can figure it out by knowing this line down here, which is parallel to that top line of the rectangle, is 8 centimeters long. So I'm going to subtract out this 1 centimeter and this 2 centimeters from this whole length, which I know is 8, which leaves me with 5 centimeters. So to find the area of this triangle, I would do 5 times 5, which I know is 25. And then, because I'm working with triangles, my final step is always going to be to divide it by 2. And then my answer there will be 12 and 5/10 centimeters squared. So my whole area of this complex shape will be 52 and 5/10 centimeters squared. So I hope that you learned a lot about finding the area and perimeter of these complex shapes. There is going to be a 5-question Google attached to this. Please make sure you complete it to the best of your ability. It's also a review from other skills we've been learning this week.